Okay, folks, let's look at number 3. But again, what I'm going to do is there's just tons of information here. So let me go ahead and try to make it a little bit more manageable as I'm doing this. Okay, so right here I am giving you triangle ABC and asking you to find the largest angle to the nearest degree. So now, remember we said that the largest angle is opposite the longest side. Just like the smallest angle is opposite the shortest side. So I'm looking here and I'm looking for the largest side, which would be my 15. So 15 would be my side B. Therefore, my largest angle must be my angle B. Okay? So in writing my equation, remember then, because I'm looking for angle B, I have to start with side B, because we did say that the same letter starts and ends the equation. So here's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times the cosine of B. So I'm going to be working basically these two sides and this angle in between. So now I'm just going to plug numbers in, substitute it. I have 15 squared equals 10 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 10 times 13 cosine B. Now here's where there's the major difference. In the other two problems, I knew what the angle was, so I actually plugged it in, and I had cosine of 10 degrees, cosine of 50 degrees, whatever the angle was, cosine of 105 degrees, because it was a given, and this was the variable because I was looking for the side. But now I'm reversing it. Now I have the side. It's the angle that I need. So doing it's going to be a bit different. So next step, 225 equals to 100, that's the 10 squared, plus 169, that's the 13 squared, minus 260, that's the negative 2 times 10 times 13, cosine B. Now in doing this, we have to follow the order of operations, and we have to be able to recognize when there are like terms and not like terms. So for this problem, I highlighted the like terms, my two numbers. This is not a like term because it has a cosine B, whereas these two don't. So think of it as 225 equals to 100 plus 169 minus 260x. Nobody here would combine all three, so don't do this now with the cosine. So here's what I have as my next step. I have 225 equals to 269. I simplify like terms, combine like terms, minus 260 cosine B. Now, what do I do next? Well, this is my last step. I gotta get rid of this. So I'm going to subtract 269 on both sides. I get negative 44 equals negative 260 cosine B. This is a multiplication, so I get rid of this by dividing. So now I've got cosine B, or actually, you notice I use the arc, the inverse cosine, because I need to find the angle. And this is going to be negative 44 divided by negative 260. Now in entering this, if you decide to leave out the negative signs because you know they're positive, that's fine too. So this ends up giving me 80.26 degrees. I want it to the nearest degree, so cosine B is going to be 80 degrees. So right here, angle B is going to be my 80. And because it's the largest angle across from the biggest side, if I had to find angle B and angle C, either one of these or both of these should be less than 80. We're not going to do problems with it today, but just keep in mind that here cosine is positive. Had cosine been negative, then I would not be in quadrant 1. I would be in quadrants 2 and 4. But quadrant 4 would be an impossibility because my three triangles only add to 180. If this was a negative, So I'm giving you a heads up on to tomorrow. If cosine was negative, we would treat the quadrant 1 as a reference angle, and your answer would then be in quadrant 2. All right, so now we are done with the modeling of the problems. So you are now going to try this problem and this problem. So these two are the only two I want you to try. Just let me double check. Yep. All right. So for the first one, it tells you the lengths of the sides are 5, 10, and 12. Find the smallest angle. So keep in mind, right? The largest angle is opposite the longest side. Therefore, the smallest angle should be across from the smallest side. So work on it, show me your work, and see if you can get 24 degrees. If not, come on to the Zoom. And then for number 2, when you see solve the triangle, and in your textbooks it will say solve the triangle. Solve the triangle just means you are to find all missing sides and angles. So in here you're given lengths. They want you to give length to the nearest unit and angle measures to the nearest tenth. Here you're given triangle RST, you're given side T, side S, and angle R. But remember, in the triangle you've got 3 sides and 3 angles. So solve the triangle in this case means that you have to find side R, angle S, and angle T. So go ahead and do that for me. Make sure that you get the following answers. Okay? Remember, once you find at any point in time, if you find that you can use the law of sines, by all means do that. Otherwise, sticking with the law of cosines always works as well. So have fun doing these. Make sure, please, that you submit your classwork by 6 p.m. tonight. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, I'm just going to stop the recording. So feel free to exit out now. I will see everyone tomorrow. Bye-bye.